最高難易度なのか。からのレギュラーで行ってみるかな。どうすっかな。レギュラーで行こう。本当にタクティカルモードでよろしいですか。難しいんだよなこのゲーム。どうすっかな。勝てばよかろう作戦でいけばいけるかな。頑張ってみます。
All my life, I've been a performer, a musician, beloved and celebrated by all. But I have a secret. I'm also a playground for sprites and spirits and worse. The voice that rings inside me now is darker than any that came before. Almost caused a bunch of my fans to rip each other to pieces. But you can trust me. I've got this under control. Step 1. Find out who, or what, is trying to take control of my mind. Step 2. Make it sorry it ever tried.
なるほど。わかりました。相変わらず今作も尺状が強いのかな。尺状が強いってわけじゃないな。弓が強かったんだよな、前作は。どうすっか、弓でいくか。便利がいいのはやっぱウィザードとか魔法使いの方が便利はいいんだよな、後半は。まさに妖芸って感じの顔だよな、このくどさが何とも言えん。くどい顔。意外に美人さんか。視力頑張りがいいのか、やっぱ。でも高難易度だからな。 ートで障害児要素がついちゃってるのかこの人。ウィザードでいいか。鑑定、障害要素は絶対つくのかこの人は。利用可能。召喚術。資料術。1は資料術とかなかったんだよな。水術と風術。電気ビリビリ。要注意。才能。最初からガラスの方へとか取っちゃうととんでもないことになっちゃうんだよな。動物をこれ必須だから取っとくか。動物ごとやっぱり変貌だよな。動物は取らないで最初は遠望を取っとこう。 ってなんだこれ、よくわかんねえな。ビュートでいいか。これでいいかな。行ってみましょう。最高難易度の1個下なんでちょっと死にまくるかもな。
It all happened like I knew it would. A single drop of source magic. And like flies to honey, the monsters swarmed. The rebel panicked. The carnage began. And the magisters pointed their fingers at me. Just as I'd planned. I was shackled and collared. And sent to Fort Joy. I'd come here to kill Godwoken. But instead I became part of their story.
1作目はソースハンターだったんだけど、今度はソース使いの方になっちゃってるのか、主人公は。
So, still a bit groggy, are we? Don't worry. The sedative will wear off soon enough. Easy now. No need to hurry. Get your bearings and report to me upstairs.
だいぶ字幕も大きくてやりやすいな。1の方は字が小さかったんだよな。
Damn. And here I was, hoping my upstairs visitor was just playing tricks on me.
バケツ頭防具ってかぶれるのか。
This again. Junk. Junk. a sheep.
Did you expect a needle?
Huh?
Did you expect a needle?
誰かいるのか？
Did you expect a needle?
Boring.
あら、もう終了後なのか。なんという不要なんだ。OK。反対側はどうなってんだ？開かないと。あぶら。 何ですか。
Hey, hey, get me out of this cage and I'll make it worth your while. You in? Your guess is as good as mine. Someone screamed loud as a banshee. After that, pure pandemonium. They never even told me what I was accused of. Just dragged me down here. Set me free, and I'll set you free. A fair trade, I should think. A gentlewoman among jesters, you are. Give that lever a...
前に探索。ああ、この人寝ちゃってんのか。
Before you can even touch the lever, you hear a sniff and snort behind you as the...
Is my shift over? Wait, you're no magister. You're a sorcerer. What are you doing here, filthy scrounger? Choose your words carefully. My fists ache to meet a new face. And it's about time too. Can't just leave the prisoner alone, though. I heard he might be the one causing trouble upstairs. That's all I needed to hear.
The prisoner's buoyant voice darkens as his eyes...
Ah, freedom. I'm nothing if not a man of my word. And I did give my word I'd set you free.
なんだと。見事に騙された。間違えた。
just woken up, and already there's a bounty on my head.
危なっ。があるな。爆発。
No key? No problem.
カーペット。なんだ、なんかあるのか。特に何もなし。
And I'm back where I started. Nowhere to go but up.
上に行くってどこから行くんだ。 他は置いてないのかな。油の樽持っていけるかな。重すぎるか。
Empty.
蓋を拾って。
Why, you're looking a bit more chipper. Yes. Looks like that collar fits you snugly enough. Nice bit of work, even if I do say so myself.
No known associates.
There you are. Not too tight, I hope. The collar, I mean. Oh, not to worry. In the meantime, your next stop will be Magister William. All passengers have to be registered, and you'll find him on the other side of this deck, in the officers' quarters. Don't you dare! If you violate the virtue of my...
Index fingers pressed to her lips. She pauses a moment.
My word, you do seem a bit befuddled. Oh, well, I'm sure you'll soon gather your wits. Most likely. A new life awaits. And if you're a particularly good girl, perhaps a cure as well. An end to Source. For good. Is he? Oh, well. Some problems simply sort themselves, don't they? Why, for my peace of mind, of course. Why don't you try casting one of those Source spells of yours? See what happens. Oh, do go on. I won't hold it against you. Promise.
Currents of magic surge inside you, boiling, bursting, then...
My, look at the concentration on your face.
or...
There you have it. See? The collar's function. It neuters you of sorts. For your own peace of mind, of course. Your...
なるほど。首輪のせいで使えないと。
It seems as though there's a pattern in the blood flow. That can't be natural.
でもさっき使えてたじゃん。
No known associates. In fact, he seems quite averse to spending time with the others.
You've been collared and you've been told why. There really is no need for
い
you.
けないんだった。忘れてた。オッケー。
No lesions, no trauma. It's bled by magic.
Good gods! There's been a murder here.
Did the murderer take him into this room? Was he already here?
あらー。これはちょっと勝てないね。
Oh, the hatch is blocked. I'll need to find another way.
ゲロゲロ。こうなるよね。窃盗しちゃダメってことなのか。
Why, you're looking a bit more chipper. Yes, looks like that. There you are. Not too tough. In the meantime, you'll find him on the other side of this deck, in the officers' quarters. No, you're alive, and you're...
Index fingers pressed to her lips.
My word, you do seem a bit befuddled. Oh, well, I'm sure you'll soon gather your wits. Most likely. A new life awaits. And if you're a particularly good girl, perhaps a cure as well. An end to Is he? Oh, well. Some problems simply sort themselves. Why, for my peace of mind, of course. Why don't you try casting one of those source spells of yours? See what happens.
Currents of magic surge inside you.
My, look at the constant. There you have it. See? The collar's function. You for your own peace of mind.
No marks.
Good gods!
No indications of a struggle.
There's been a murder here.
Did the murderer take him into this room? Was it
あら、首輪がついてる人がいっぱいいるな。この人たち全部ソース使いなの。
There's nothing else I can make, Your Majesty. Turnips and water are all I was given.
Unacceptable. I've never dined on anything less than a dozen-course dinner, and I don't intend to do away with the custom.
Well, there has been a murder, Your Majesty.
Name?
The Magister's more concerned with your
Well, you aren't here on my list. Scrammy. We're trying... First thing about sauce.
It was one of them. I know it.
Would you put a knuckle in it? I'm trying to concentrate.
They don't care about us. We're like cattle.
A young magister stands pale and silent. Behind the magister, a bloodied mass lies in a heap. Gore and limbs lie at odd angles. You can't make out a face amid the mess.
There's been a murder. A sorcerer was killed by one of your own. Lucky you were busy getting your collar fitted at the time. Waters is investigating. She'll figure out who did it. Always does.
I'll need to
Aren't you enterprising? I'll let Waters tell. Go ahead. She with the body.
Ugly sight, isn't it? Burns me up this happened under our protection. We're extremely lucky no Voidwalker followed the source that did this. Finn didn't see it like that. He was desperate for us to help him. We'll find out who did this. Speaking of...
She looks up at you with a mirthless smile.
I was on duty in your room when the murder happened. You were asleep the whole time, didn't you? You're one of the only indisputably innocent people on the ship. Unless you can commit murder in your sleep, of course. Finn was killed by Source. If a Magister could do that, there wouldn't be. It looks more like a passenger managed to slip their collar. Listen, I could use someone to keep their ears open among the passengers. Sometimes they bring me a good lead, and I'll throw in a shiny gold coin for you. How about that? Thanks. I just want to catch whoever...
犯人を探せと。首輪がついてない人を探せばいいんじゃないのこれ。そうでもない
Like I
の
said,
か。
you aren't on the list.
Your kind always hung closest to our divine, like wolves around a campfire.
Well, well. What have we here? A fresh fit.
The lizard looks you up and down. All of a sudden, he grips you firmly by the chin, with the intent of inspecting your teeth.
My, we are fierce, aren't we? Now then, to business. You will answer me 3 questions. The first one is this. Can you cook? Ah, music to my beleaguered... On to the second question. Can you knit, weave? In short, tailor? Oh, but to feel the caress of satin on my... On then to my final query. Have you the ability to administer the upkeep of one's personal appearance? The delicate art of cosmetics is what I'm after. The very basics, then. I suppose that's... So, 3 questions asked, 3 questions... As per your own testimony, you can cook, tailor, and... I offer you my sincerest congratulations. As of now, you are my slave. You should probably come to terms with the fact that you've half a mind, full stop. Rein in your impertinence. Anyway, you may leave me for a moment. We'll go over your duties once we reach Fort Joy. Now, should...
We've got this wolf on a leash now.
As soon as the Inquisitor gets here.
I spent my life singing. Meanwhile, the Magisters feast on honeyed...
One of them. I know it.
Would you put a knuckle in it? I'm trying...
A broad dwarf sits totally upright on the bench, eyes closed, palms face up on his... He raises an eyebrow as you approach, but...
Listen up, Ghetto. You hear that?
His eyes snap open. He looks at you and
Murder? Ah, that's what I wouldn't know anything about. I kill a man. He knows who done it. His daddy knows who done it.
His eyes flutter shut, and he assumes his...
Whether they catch me is another matter, but I ain't one to hide my accomplishments. The ship, of course.
A wave of sound washes over you. The unintelligible chatter of your ship.
And?
Don't you get saucy with me when you clearly don't know the first thing about sauce.
Sick as a leper's cat. But there's more. Listen close. There now, just like that.
Squeeze!
Aha!
His eyes snap open as his countenance breaks into an
There, you heard it, didn't you? I knew it. I knew it. Aye, this is good news, Ghetto. Good news. No, you beautiful idiot. That wasn't any rat. It was the wheel. Squeaks whenever the helmsman... Burn my beard. That means... If we'd been travelling for... Yes, only 10.34 nautical miles to Fort Joy.
Unacceptable. I've never dined on anything less than...
Yeah, no indeed, Ghetto. But...
The dwarf leans back from the table and
That'll be all. Thank ye kindly, Ghetto.
He continues stroking his beard.
Don't know the first thing about sauce.
You one of them? A Divine Order loyal? They killed a sorcerer, you know. They'll hide the evidence while...
That right? I always knew you'd turn out rotten, Ben Nest. Your kind always hung closest to our line, like bulls around our camp.
An elf sits tucked away in a dark spot, lazily.
Snake eyes.
She chuckles.
I bet that's just what they'll look like.
She shakes her head.
Game for one, I'm afraid. Rolling dice. Deciding fates. Don't worry, honey. It isn't yours.
She looks you up and down with the merest hint of a coy smile on her lips.
Never say never, though.
She eyes you quite seriously.
Not the future, no. But I could lick your arm and tell you how you spent the night before last. Shall I?
She gives your arm a vigorous stroke of the tongue.
You were in a cellar with other sorcerers. A dark... My, aren't you a pretty cup full of sugar and spice?
It was one of them. I know it.
Would you put a knuckle in it? I'm trying...
She pats you on the shoulder.
There, don't you worry, darling. I don't lick and tell.
I'll give you that knuckle if you keep carrying on.
One of us will kill our own. They're picking us off one by one.
A scruffy man lounges against the wall with scarred arms folded.
Watch your back, new fish. There's a murderer on board, and I'd bet 3 months' pay it's this tramp Ifan.
Rolling his eyes at the Magister's warning, the man named Ifan beckons again. He leans in and adjusts your collar with a sharp tug, balancing its weight so it no longer
pinches less that way, right?
Hocking a phlegmy gobbet in your general direction, the sullen Magister settles back to his task of glowering at Ifan. And now, you.
We used to know each other, more's the pity. I was his commander, many
Standing far back from Ifan, the tight-faced Magister draws one finger across his throat in an elaborate fashion. But Ifan grins, flashing points.
Same as he was at 14 years old. Only difference is somebody gave him a bigger sword, and now he's Johnny Big Pants. No. The dead man, Finn, is it? I'd no business with him. And I wouldn't put a man down without good reason.
He glances over at Magister Victor, who's staring back at him with...
Damn shame sheer annoyance isn't reason enough. Long story. Maybe I'll tell you about it in the Joy. Away from... the Joy, I've heard a lot. Nothing good. Wonder if we'll get to meet the Ringmaster himself. Easy now. I might think the same.
What are you conspiring about over there?
Oh, don't mind him. Vic's just got a bee in his bonnet.
Name.
Magister Victor looks at you suspiciously, then scrawls something illegible down.
Away with you. At once.
Ifan performs an elaborate pantomime of keeping quiet.
Insufferable, surely.
What are you trying to hear anyway?
I'll tell you.
The elf is reading a volume of Cranley Hubert's famous encyclopedia. He reaches out and takes your hand, turning it this way and that, examining it.
Fascinating.
He sits back and returns to his book, flicking quickly from page to page, completely oblivious to your presence.
Ah, yes. The nicest. My name is Fane. I am a scholar from... It is pleasurable to meet you. Is there? Wherever do you keep? Certainly not in your books. I have been reading this one for... It is simultaneously too detailed and insufficient. I know the beginning. Tell me, what do you know of your... our world's history? Most unusual. And if it's not too rude... No. I want to know about the Celestial. This text tells me that they created all creatures. Where did these gods come from? Who are their people? Where are the others of their kind? Of course you don't have any useful information. Now please, run along. I have a world to decipher.
No amount of pestering will get the...
There's nothing else I can make.
Here's the register, ma'am. Good, good. You faring okay so far?
I've never dined on anything less than a dozen course dinner, and I don't intend to do away with it.
Of course I do. Seems Voidwalk can dog your heel. You'll see. We're gonna help you. You head on in now. Williams will get you.
Don't you get saucy with me when you clearly don't know the first thing about swords.
I know you. I heard you sing once.
They don't care about us.
Hey! I know who you are.
Carrying on.
Wow! You look cool.
They're picking us off one by one.
trained on.
Standing at the center of the room, you spot a sorcerer haughtily eyeing a pair of...
So you admit it then? You murdered that poor fella?
Yes, I did. But of course, that was only the beginning.
She turns her head and looks you straight in the eye.
There are others whose lives must end.
Good God, the woman's mad. You there, sorcerer. Go and fetch Magister Siwan. We need to do more than collar this maniac. We need to shackle her, hands and feet.
It means your journey draws to a close.
She reaches for her collar and simply removes...
I'm just about to create a scene.
Subdue her, men, quickly! If she casts source, the Voidwoken will...
She smiles with wicked satisfaction.
Precisely.
Voila.
What's happened?
Oh, 全滅したのか。熱い。
What happened? Must have been the water. Wine, for goodness.
The lizard's eyes close as he slips. The dwarf lies in a heap on the floor, his great beard twisted and tangled around him. He is stock still. You can't see if he's living or dead. Ifan lies motionless, curled on the ground. His eyes flicker open.
Lucy.
Ifan cries out.
No, not the final dark. Not yet.
It's no use.
The dice roll darkly.
doesn't bode well. Onwards
絵
and
を売る
upwards.
と金が稼げるのかな。
God damn it! Need to get off this wreck and quick. Not long before this thing snaps into splinters.聞かないんですけど。ついてないからダメか。あれダメージ入ったかな。入ってないじゃん。
初見です。こんばんは。
こんばんは。よろしくお願いします。ヒーラーが効くのか。
If I find Grace, what was...
ロックピックを持ってませんか？
ああ、そういや持ってたかな。どうだっけ、忘れた。
The Magister's companion doesn't blink, frozen in place at the sight of him.
Like you don't know? Mutiny! Did that witch fix your collar too?
He whispers loudly to the other Magister.
Don't just cower there, Rix!
Rix grabs his sword, which shakes in the rhythm of his trembling hand. Rix looks to his companion, who then looks to you. They drop...
Go on then! Find a place to hide and...
This is Bishop Alexander. Not bad. Not bad at all.
Resurrection の巻物、前作でお世話になりました。今日は三段なんで武器状態にするんなっちゃう。前は使い道があったっけ。
You pass through the door and are suddenly face to face. The skeleton is quickly leafing through a volume of Cranley Hugh.
No. What damn fools record knowledge on a... It catches fire, it turns into must when wet.
The skeleton looks up and notices you for the...
Oh, it's you. Shouldn't you be running and screaming or some such?
The skeleton groans and...
Yes, indeed. Now, if you're really quite finished, I believe you have lifeboats to flee to. Please, I was no more an elf than you are those rags you're wearing. I had a mask, rather ingeniously designed, which allowed me a mask that was stolen by that damned witch after... Still, she'll drown with the rest of these fools, and I will simply pluck my mask from her cold, dead hands. Indeed, just as sensible as getting... I would say good day, but it seems quite likely that you're about to...
The skeleton shrugs casually and returns to his book. door was painted recently, judging from its pungent scent. You press your palm against the door to open it. The wood feels neither cold nor warm, but simply grey. The color drains from your hand, and you are left numb.
なんか戦闘になりそうだな。
It doesn't budge.
いけ。
The door groans open, but an ashen shadow clouds.
なんだこりゃ。
Death fog. I need to get out of here now. Much for a peaceful stroll.
Children and dwarves first.
The dwarf yanks at one of the nearby ropes.
Said there were other people down there. We need to help them.
You see those tentacles, kid? It's time for getting the hell out of here.
Thank you! There's a ladder right over there. You can go straight down.
You're gonna be the death of us, you hear?
The Magister lies on the floor, unconscious.
Wait! Void broken!
山のようにいんな。
These beardless bugs won't sink a ship on my watch.
Let the games begin.
They who are about to strike.
I've faced worse.
I'll yield to none. Okay.
すげえな。壁を飛び越えて攻撃してるじゃない。
No telling where there might be more. We need to move.
They smell even worse dead than alive. Let's head above decks for some air.
Let's not parry.
It's Magister Siwan, the one who put on this damn collar. Sounds like she needs help.
She tries to speak, but can only gape as she clutches her neck, trying to stem the bleeding of a gushing wound. With jagged movements, she raises her clenched fist and holds out a length of cloth, soaked with some kind of strong-smelling tincture. Blood quickly soaks through the cloth. Magister Siwan's mouth opens and closes, her eyes wide in terror. Blood pours out from around the bandage. Magister Siwan reaches out to you, her hand flailing. It's working. The pressure is stemming the flow of blood. Something within the ship snaps. The floorboards shudder. Siwan struggles to her feet, clinging to you tightly. The ship lets out a deep groan.
It's ripping the ship apart!
I have plans for you, child. Rise.
Honorable Dallas, we lost a ship sailing sorcerer prisoners to Fort Joy. We assume some escaped and broke their collars. Their vile magic lured the Voidwoken. All who were aboard are presumed dead. Yours faithfully into eternity, High Judge Oriven.
Well, the Order's right about one thing. First comes Source, then comes Voidwoken. Am I the lone survivor? Well, thanks, disembodied voice.
ブラッカスレックス、懐かしい。
The child has a small mirror in his hands. He holds it up at
I'm not supposed to talk to strangers. Hi, Losa. I'm Tam. Are you a sorcerer too?
The child screws up his face and looks at you hard. He lifts...
I don't see any source on you or me. I guess they're wrong. Or crazy. No one cares where I go. They know I can't leave the island. It's nicer out here than inside, anyway. But you didn't die. Guess I am, but it's just normal to be scared. Nowhere isn't scary. There isn't anywhere safer. That's what you'll see.
Voidwoken. Those are the same beasts that sank our ship. Damn, they made it to shore.
滑んないのか。痛い痛い痛い。やばい、これは死んだか。やっぱり難しい。おとなしくエクスプローラーとかでやっときゃよかったな。
Voidwoken. Those are the same beasts that sank our ship. Damn, they made it to shore.
早く仲間をつけた方がいいですよ。
あ、そうなんだ。やっぱり。ターンは早く回ってくる。あら、感電状態か。おい、そんだけ移動して攻撃してくんのかよ。ヒットポイント回復してない？やばい、死んだが大丈夫だった。あ、危ない。飲んどけ。クールダウン、こっちは使える。
Bloody collars were supposed to keep those things at bay. That's Magister Jalen. He wasn't so bad on the ship, at least. Poor fella.オナーで始めてたらもうゲームオーバーになってデータが消えてたとこだったら危ねえ。やんなくてよかった。怖い。隠密でいくか。あ、奴隷にしようとしたリザードちゃんじゃないか。何をやってるのかな、君は。
You spot a strange lizard gazing over the water with a steady Yes, you recognize him from the ship. It would seem you're not the only one who survived the tentacles of the deep. The lizard turns about with the graceful ease of a dancer. Or...
I did survive, yes. And chances are I wouldn't have, had you not returned to the... You have my gratitude.
Hand over heart, he salutes you with a bob of the head. More than a nod, though less than a bow.
Yes, I'm sure you've all the makings of a hero and all that, but let's not get carried away, shall we? Nevertheless, one good turn does deserve another, so... As far as the whole slave business is concerned... Now then, if there's nothing further... I'm sure I don't mean to sound condescending, but I had thought it quite...
He sighs dramatically.
Tell me, what do you see when you cast your glance over this ocean? consciousness. Very good. And the water it made...
He looks out over the water once more, and so do you. A few tranquil...
As for myself, when I consider this vast expanse before us, I see continents dotted with mighty cities. And shimmering along the soft curve of the sea's horizon, I picture the palaces that formed my paradise. Lost. What do you mean, what do I mean? I mean just what I say. I had...
Suddenly, having all the air of being deeply offended, he stares at you with...
Well, don't just stand there gawking like an ape at an abacus. Or do you really mean to tell me you don't know who I am? Well, more's the damn pity, isn't it? For I am the Red Prince, the All-Conqueror. Of course you know me.
There's a brief moment's pause, during which his grandiloquent pose...
That said, I suppose I must own up to the fact that I find myself rather in between. The grandeur that is my fate has hit a bit of a snag. But never you worry. For the throne I was destined, and my throne I shall have.
この人なんだっけ、職業。前衛なのかな。これって仲間とか入れ替えられるのかな。どうなんだろう。とりあえず。
Fine. I accept. On one condition. For reasons I'll not disclose right now, it is imperative. I've reason to believe one of them may be present on this island. Promise me we'll look for him, and I'll extend you the blessing of my company. Jolly good. So, now that that's settled, first thing, even if you are as versed in the art of eloquence as I... As a born fighter, I prefer the perfection of the blade myself. But I'm well acquainted with the secrets of magic, and yes, even subterfuge. What say you?
これ選択でなんか変わるのかな。
Wizardry is embedded in my nature as deeply as the instincts to breathe and drink and mate. The dominion over fire suits me best, truth be told, but there is no school of magic I cannot master.
仲間はいつでも入れ替えられます。
あ、そうなんだ。やった、ありがとうございます。これ受け答えでこの人の職業が決まっちゃうってことなのかな。
Wavering is a sign of weakness, so make your choice and stand by it.
Fighter はちょっとどうなんだ今回は。
Very well. Onwards then to victory or death.
The Red Prince nods and gives you a smile that...
Now, as you're aware, you'll be traveling with a prince. Proper forms of address include your majesty, your royal highness, or if you're feeling particularly frivolous, milord. As your luck would have it, I seem to be fresh out of luggage, so you won't be... Of course, there are other forms of protocol to bear in mind, but...
この辺の操作は前とあんま変わってないですね。
after that cat. Here, kitty. Here, kitty, kitty.
The cat's eyes are clouded and grey, but it stares at you with acute intensity. Its eyes clear, and it...
Hey, lady. It's a lot nicer here than... I'm sure glad you went back. I never want to set foot on a stuffy old boat ever again. Never.
おー、マップ広。すごいなこれ。なんか山のように人が。
Need I repeat myself?
Stay back, sorcerer, and stay silent. Our Godwoken speak.
We know you've been helping sorcerers escape, Atusa. We have proof.
I'd sooner cut my tongue out than lie to you, Alexander.
If you can tell the Godwoken no more...
This can't be serious, Alexander. Come.
You should know by now to obey your superior, Magister, whatever she may ask.
「フォートジョイの鏡」というモッドをオンにするといつでもスキルチェンジできますよ。
あ、そうなんだ。へえ。ありがとうございます。
Atusa pinches the tip of her tongue with 2 fingers.
Stop! My father, may his soul rest in peace, would be the fate of our realm hangs in the balance. Dallas?
Yes, Your Holiness?
I believe we're done here.
What a waste. Come, we'll be needed elsewhere.
The Lizard Magister, or what's left of her, lies in a puddle of gore.
She was a lizard, yet a magister. No matter her reasons, her penalty was fair.
What's this? I found something.
One must put in due effort if one is to reap the proper reward.
The cat's eyes are clouded and grey. It appears confused.
前作のアルーみたいな感じなのかな。
wonder where this leads.
As the alcove opens up, you see the same skeleton that he's leaning over a corpse, prodding.
Bugger. How on earth am I supposed to... Oh.
Skeletal fingers reach down and grip the skin of the dead.
Damnation. That's stuck fast. I wonder, does the beard act as... Ah! No! Oh, it's you. I must admit I'm surprised. Perhaps you're more buoyant than I suspected.
浮力があったっけ浮かんできたってことか
It seems the human that stole my mask was rather more resourceful than I chased her here.
He turns back to the body, prodding at its face cautiously.
Why, its face, of course. A face that seems rather stubbornly attached. I would normally employ a tool to delicately, but I could then craft a mask to hide my bone.
The skeleton grabs the corpse by the cheeks and pulls hard, grunting in frustration.
Because my own was stolen from me. And the idea of being chased across Rivellon by every... Oh, get away! You are simple beasts. And so, if I am to traverse this land, I will need a mask to disguise my features. Oh, don't be ridiculous. I have important... I cannot simply sit about waiting for the rest of you to die so I may continue my business in... Indeed. I may be the only attorney, at least from this realm. As for the others... Well... There is an excavation site at the Black Pit's oil fields. Perhaps there I'll find my answers. Ah, well, that is the curious thing. They are... Every one of your races resembles them in some... Perhaps my people have ascended to some new realm. Regardless, they are not here. But I will find them. Wherever they are, I will find them. Well, that hardly seems relevant. Several centuries, in fact. I was sealed in a tomb for daring to be curious about the world. Perhaps I should thank him. It seems I was spared whatever happened to the others. I wonder if flowers would be appropriate. I suppose, circumstances being what they are, you seem more at ease in this world than I. A guide would certainly be useful. Excellent. While we are conversing, perhaps... Of course, the arcane arts are my little speciality, but being a brilliant wizard does not mean I cannot handle blade or bow. So, which do you require for this enterprise of yours? I could do that with one hand behind my... Splendid. Very well. Let's be off.
The cat's eyes are clouded and grey. It appears confused.
レベルアップで才能今作は前作と前作のスピードみたいな、なんだったっけ、速度の概念とかないのかな。動物を持ってる人いないかな。
Come on then, Lexi. Hey up.
ここ監獄なのか。でも船が難破して監獄に流れ着いたってすごいな。
I don't think I ain't watching. That's your fifth blue just to this road.
Just like all your kind.
Disgusting like theft? Disgusting like threats?
Great God. Will you quit dragging on?
Dallas, you maniac.
Just hand over the gold.
I will not.
Bad luck to let one of them cross your path.
ここいきなり弓降ってきた。
速度はないです。移動距離が基地で上がるくらいです。
あ、そうなんだ。
You keep his name out of your mouth, you filthy cud chewer.
Have your cud.
Just like all your kind.
So this is Fort Joy.
What a crumbling disaster.
I will not.
John! You there. You've just arrived, isn't that right? Are you quite alone? It's just, I've a proposition. Something very worth knowing. But it's hardly a group affair. In that case, listen up. You must think me mad to approach a stranger, but this camp is full of cowards and I'm running out of time. Fast. Too fast. Way too fast. I've been here a long time. Longer than anyone else. People get taken sometimes. Some folks say they get cured. I have a way out of here. It won't be easy, and I need a partner. Are you interested?
Believe whatever you want. This may be your only chance at leaving this place. Take it or don't.
なんかこれちょっと役がおかしいなあなたに私にはじゃないのこれ
Had a gal. Who wouldn't? Finally, someone with a little sense around here. The plan's simple, completely foolproof. I have a spell that I can use to teleport you right out of here. I can't use... There's an artifact that you can use to teleport me out of this place. Then I can use my spell to free you in turn. This item, though, it's in quite an unfortunate location. And how many would make it before the guards noticed? 4? 5? Every bloody sorcerer in this place? Nah, they'd have to take their own chances. It's found its way into a nest of crocodilians on a secluded beach nearby. Here, give me your map and I'll show you where to go. I'm glad you're of such a mind. I never was one for get that artifact. And you and I are as good as...
Irma? Where are you, darling?
A fella can't hear himself think with all this racket. You hear that, Farah? You got to cut that out. What's happened to ya?
Known her all my life. Her little girl Irma, too. Farah was a straight-shooting woman in those days, but now she's madder than a cuckoo in twice as loud.
What else do you call hollering after a ghost? That child of hers she's shouting after has been dead and buried a month over, and there ain't no amount of hollering that'll bring...
I told him I'd known exactly. Please, please, you must help me. No one here will help me. Not one of these bastards. Irma. She's called Irma. I haven't seen her in days. I'm sick with worry. Completely sick. And no one in this damn camp will lift a finger to help me find her. This place turns people cold. Cold and wicked. That fellow Jeth over there speaks unutterable. I last saw her just here, near 3 days ago. She was playing with her little doll, and I was washing out her tunic. I turned from her for one moment. Yes, of course. Here, you should take it with you. When you find her...
She soaks up a steady stream of tears with her shirt sleeve.
She ought to come with you then. She ought to follow you back to me. You are an angel.
子供を見つけてこいか。子供いなかったっけ？名前が違う。上に誰かいるな。今作上に登れるようになったんだ。前は登れたっけ？こんな登れなかったよな。
Greetings, child. I find myself in your so-called divine lands, yet I feel his absence deep in my heart all the same. You may feel like an inmate here, but you and your captors are the same stuff. Send us your children. You'll go well, my child. Perhaps the divine...
Looky here, mates. A fresh face. Why don't you join us in a round of cards? First hands on the house. Chuff to you, Chief. Here are your cards. You're up first.
You glance at your hand. 2 purple monarchs. A hard hand to beat.
Quite the hand, Freshie. Unfortunately, 2 is less than 5, and that's how many purples I've got. I reckon that makes me the winner. I'll be having your fee then. I'm sure the Reds told you. No one gets along without paying the interment fee. So, let's make this easy. Empty your pockets.
カツアゲされてますよ。
Simmer down or I'll tack on a battle axe tax. Now pay up. Go on then. Whatever pennies you've got in your pocket ain't worth my breath. But don't you go... Another inmate, but you wouldn't guess it. Runs this place like he's Dallas herself. Shouldn't be too hard to find.
Send us your children, your supplicants.
ああ、いかん、眠くなってきた。セブシ。あ、生後も名前つけられるんだ。へえ、なんかいろいろ便利になってていい感じっすね、これ。じゃあ今日はこの辺にします。ご視聴ありがとうございました。いろいろ教えてくださってありがとうございます。